Former NFL player turned analyst Merrill Hodge had some harsh words for projected #1 overall pick Caleb Williams. Let's talk about this, people. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking some NFL. Here to talk about these comments by Merril Hodge. Now, if you guys don't know, Merril Hodge is a former NFL player who became an analyst, and he was a prominent analyst for a while there. I think he stopped doing as much TV and whatnot. And so he is a guy who has given his opinions on quarterbacks a lot, and he is most famous for his take on Johnny Manziel before the draft. And he basically told people about Johnny Manziel being a complete bust, and he would not touch him. He would never draft Johnny Manziel. And this was on ESPN First Take years back. And he ended up being right. Johnny Manziel was a huge bust. And, that's what he's kind of known for. Now, here's the thing. I'll get into this in a second. Merril Hodge hasn't been flawless with his track record, which, again, I will get into. Before I do, let's just talk about what he said about Caleb Williams, all right? So, in this clip, which for copyright purposes I can't post, I'll link it down below in the description. He basically said that when he looks at Caleb Williams on tape, and he's only watched, this is important, he hasn't watched every game. He's only watched 3 games last year, 3 games this year. All right, so 6 total games that he's watched for Caleb Williams. And in these 6 games, his biggest takeaway is that Caleb Williams is not special. That's what he said. He said he's not special. And if the Bears think that they are getting Patrick Mahomes because he has been compared to Mahomes and the Bears passed on Mahomes a few years back, as we all know, then they are sadly mistaken because he is not Patrick Mahomes. And then he went on to say that with Justin Fields, the entire situation has been unfair to him because the fact that he's had to change coordinator year after year after year has been really tough on any quarterback, let alone Justin Fields, and that he would take a chance and keep Fields and keep him with the growth that he has shown. All right, so let's break this down. First, I'll just address the part that he said about Justin Fields, which is completely accurate. Justin Fields totally has not gotten the support he's needed. He has not been put in the right structure with the Bears, and honestly, they have failed his development. They deserve almost all of that blame for that. Maybe majority, but definitely a good amount of it. All right, and as far as him saying Caleb Williams is not Patrick Mahomes, honestly, folks, I'm with him on that because I don't think any quarterback should be touted as Patrick Mahomes because we're talking about one of the greatest of all time now. And those type of lofty expectations most of the time just end up, leading to guys failing to meet those expectations. So I'm not going there either with the Mahomes part. So I'm good with Merrill on those things. And I agree with him on those things. Let's talk about the first part where he said Caleb Williams is not special and that he's only watched 6 games. First, I don't know how Merril Hodge can just say that based off of 6 games. He's got to go through the entire tape. But as far as him not being special, he didn't go into detail there. But let's just go off his track record. All right, so Merril Hodge, as I mentioned to you guys, he called out Johnny Manziel being a bust. And he last year did say he would take C.J. Stroud over Bryce Young. And that is pretty impressive because almost everyone had Bryce Young as the top quarterback over C.J. Stroud. But what people might not know is that Merril Hodge has had his misses, just like everybody else, right? He's not perfect. He had Jacob Eason ranked over Justin Herbert and Tua and Jalen Hurts. He had Brian Braun ranked over Aaron Rodgers. Like, he's a guy who has missed as well, all right? And so I don't want to sit up here and be like, oh, what Merril Hodge says is gospel and this guy is the quarterback, guru, and he sees which quarterbacks are good, which quarterbacks aren't. But I will tell you this, though. I do pay attention to what Merril Hodge says. There are some guys in the sports media world that I look at and I really don't pay attention to kind of their opinions. And I feel like they always are wishy-washy and they always flip-flop and whatnot. The thing I like about Merril Hodge is he believes what he says and he sticks with it. All right, and so with him saying Caleb Williams is not special, maybe his opinion changes once he watches more tape. But I do think that my confidence level in Caleb has decreased just a little bit, right? If it was like, hey, 80% before, maybe it's 75% now. Because I do think Merrill Hodge, I value his opinion. A lot of guys I don't, but him I do, because I feel like, again, like I said, he just always is very straightforward in his analysis. There's no biases. He's just talking about, can you play the game? Can you play the position? Can you go out there and succeed? And, you know, from what he thinks, Caleb Williams, not the guy. Now, funny enough, Caleb Williams went ahead and liked that, I believe, post of Merrill Hodge saying that. So he is taking notes of the critics. But I think if I had to guess with Merrill and what he sees on tape with Caleb, he's probably talking about the out of structure plays and the fact that Caleb Williams really doesn't play a lot in structure. Not that he can't, but he doesn't a lot. And again, quarterbacking is a lot about just taking what the defense gives you and meticulously driving the ball down the field by, you know, throwing with anticipation and throwing passes with accuracy and not always looking for the home run ball. And Caleb's got that kind of home run trait. So I think that's what it is. So basically what I'm trying to say, folks, is I value Merrill Hodge's opinion. He's not flawless. He's not perfect. I told you about his misses as well. So I'm trying to be fair to the guy and not just completely be one side or the other. But I feel like overall my confidence in Caleb Williams has just dipped a little bit based off of these comments. So let me know what you guys think, man. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts about Merrill Hodge and his comments on Caleb Williams. Does this really discourage you? Not at all. A little bit like me. Let me know down below.